Laptop's booting up. Mic set. Chairs in place. Perfect. We're ready.
Uh-oh. Hello and welcome to Make It Make Sense with Auntie. Of course, I am Auntie, and we are so excited for tonight's show. I have a lot to talk about in just a little bit of time, but if you hear, you already know. Make It Make Sense with Auntie podcast every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on BFAM 109.6 FM. You can catch us on YouTube at Auntie_Mims, or you can check in on Facebook. Always remember, just call your girl. Got something you want to talk about? Call Auntie. Make It Make Sense with Auntie every Tuesday, 657-556-2461. You can also contact that number to ask Auntie. I'm telling you, you don't want to listen. Auntie got the wisdom. I'm for real. For real. Somebody, hey. The man of the hour, Mr. Smooth Transition himself. Listen. When it comes to my designs, it's only one man that we go to. And if you don't know who that is we go ahead, Mr. Show out over at Smooth Transitions Design Media Group, LLC. If you have any upcoming events, any birthday parties, family reunions, graduations, it is that season. Graduations, you want to get in before your time. Listen, the man gets busy. It's that season, springtime. He is getting busy. He is getting booked. So if you need any of those designs made, this is the time to do it. Tonight, I am super excited. We're going to listen, I'll be so excited when I see my designs. Come on, DC, look at that. So as you can see, DC is wearing one of our I'm That Uncle t-shirts, and I'm That Unc. If you want one of these t-shirts, you need to order your shirt now. You can get those in a variety of colors, but he is rocking that Auntie yellow, and we love it. So I'm telling you, I place your orders now. Smooth Transitions Design on Facebook and IG. The man is a beast. So make sure you get your shirts. I'm telling y'all, get your shirts. Auntie-ism. I'm That Unc. I'm That Auntie. We have all those shirts that are available. You can place those orders now. You can get in contact with me. You can hey, even if you need to get in contact with DC, he will get in contact with me and order your shirts today. $25 for those. Well, right now, no. We have them on sale. What's the special right now for the spring? I'm going to let y'all know by the end of the show because I think I'm going to throw out a spring special for those of you that are watching, those of you that checked in. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and get a word from our very own.
Hey everyone, we are the Fruitlings. Hi Auntie. Hi DC. Let's do this. Hey, I'm first. My name is Nene. I represent bananas. Hey, my name is Ginger. I represent ginger. And my name is Minty. I represent mint. Hi, my name is Mira. I represent turmeric. And this the crew with plenty more to come. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook so you don't miss our first episode. Now back to you, Auntie.
That's right. Show Out is in the building. And don't forget, y'all, follow us, Auntie Mims and the Fruitiverse. Everything is, listen, it's going so good in the Fruitiverse right now. If you have been watching, then you know that we have our very own star in the building. But yeah, Uncle Regano, he is definitely in the building. His spices, his recipes, we done told him it's taking off. It is taking over. So if you have children, right now, I would say the curriculum is fluctuates because of course, you know, if you got smaller kids, you're gonna have to read it to them. The older kids, it was a hit, and it has been a hit with the younger kids, and I'm gonna say, you know, elementary school age. However, adults like the characters, they have been watching the characters. This is not just for children. This is for everybody. This is a family. This is a family thing. It really is. And blood don't make you family. So if you have uncles, if you're an uncle or auntie, this is for you. This is for you to have time with your nieces and nephews. And when I say that, that does not mean that it has to be blood, because blood does not make you family. But this is a program to share with everybody. It relates to everything and anything with this program, but it puts it on the level where children to give more understanding, and that goes, I'm talking about all the way across the board. We are all across the spectrum with the characters from the Fruitlings. We have all across the universe, literally all across the universe. We are going to different places. We are educating. We are loving. We are opening, giving platforms to others. It's been an experience. Writing this program has been an experience. Creating the characters has been an experience. Being able to, share this with the world has also been an experience. And I'm very excited for where we're going and where we go. Right now is a very pivotal point in our, so, with making decisions, everything we have to make sure we look at it all the way down to the very, very, I'm talking about the most minute detail, because we are educating children, and I want this to be something that is positive. It is a positive experience. Now, with me saying positive experience, sometimes some of the programs may do some triggering, because we know all of them, when dealing with life, sometimes there are things that we deal with that may be triggering. And I need us to understand that adults are not the only people that get triggered. So there are children that are affected as well, affected a lot by a lot of things that parents don't take into accountability, adults don't take into accountability when it comes to our children. And they are put in positions where, sometimes being able to understand and express themselves is very, very important. And so we would love to play a part in doing that. And that's with anybody. So I'm trying to get the program. Once I get it all finished, I'm going to try to, get it converted into different languages so that I can reach out to everybody. But with that said, we're going to jump right in. Once again, we always, the world be whirling and a lot be going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with the war and with in the political places. But this one here, we're going to go to somebody. And of course, it starts off with Florida. So the Florida PD collaboration pays off as a $95,000 Audi dealership fraud suspect was already in custody. Now, so when I read this story, I forgot what his name was, but it was that's his name. His name is not important. The stupidity is. I'm just going to be 100. But so he decided that he was going to write a bad check, a $95,000 check to the Audi dealership in Miami. Well, he was arrested on some charges. And while he was in the one department decided to call over to the other one to check on some stuff because they was running, some checks because they were planning on going in to find him. And lo and behold, he was already in custody. So they were able to get this car back, $95,000. I'm just trying to figure out, did you not think that they was ever going to come or they was going to find out that was a bad check? I mean, I know people, don't get me wrong, we done wrote checks when the money wasn't in there right then. We done did all that. But I want to know who the teller was, that how bad did they want that sale that he was able to make them think that he had $95,000 to write a check right then to drive off of that lot. I just want to know. I want to know because I know what I have dealt with going to a dealership to purchase a car, and just being able to walk away, writing over a $95,000 check, and somebody saying, "Oh yeah, we could do this," and they allowed that to go through. So I don't know. Maybe that one's a little iffy for me. I feel like that might be an inside job on that one. So yeah, I forgot who it was that sent me that story, but yeah, I think that may be an inside job because literally when you're going and purchasing and making these large purchases, especially writing a check. So you wrote a check. So you were able to make them believe that you had $95,000 that you could just write away in your bank account for this. So yeah, I think some strings was pulled. Somebody else was in on this. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because that don't add up to me. That's not adding up for me. All right, DC, let's go to the next one. Now, if y'all have any comments, write in. Just go ahead and put story 1. So just remember the stories as I tell y'all. If you have a comment, just put story 1 so I know what you responded to, so I know what to respond to. Now this one. Our story 2 takes us, are we still in Florida? Yeah, we most definitely still in Florida. Because Florida be Florida. I'm just saying. This patient refuses to leave Florida hospital 5 months after discharge. The lawsuit claims the patient discharged from the hospital on October the 6th has continued to occupy a room despite no longer needing services. Now, this story here, I read this story, and this one it's a little touchy. It's a little. I mean, when I say touchy, it has multiple parts that we need to address. It's like an onion. It's some layers that have to be pulled back. First of all, to be in a hospital, for 5 months past the date that you are released from a hospital is crazy to me. But I had to sit back and I had to evaluate, because they don't go into too much because of the HIPAA laws and stuff. They just gave this basic information, even with the story that they was released in October, and they refused to leave the hospital. They're now they've not gotten the police involved and the courts involved, but they have not been able to remove this person. So we're gonna see where this one plays out to. But my thing is, I was thinking about, okay, so something have to be going on, and two, it could be 2 or 3 different things, could be multiple things. Because I know, first of all, to be in a hospital where you're in a hospital, so this person have to stay in the hospital all the time. They don't leave out the hospital, because if they did, then they would probably evict them out of the room. So we know this person they staying in the room all the time. They telling this person that there is nothing wrong with them to the point that they have to be in a facility. So my thing is, I'm wondering if they don't have, maybe they don't have family or somebody that's going to care for them at home. So that's why they're there. So maybe, they need to look into getting them into a rehab situation where they're still in a facility. They still got that care around them. That's number one. Well, that's that part. Now, my other part is, I want to know what type of insurance that they have, that they are still in this hospital, even if these people done put you out. Because if they don't put you out, then that means you're not receiving services, or are they still providing you with services that you're receiving? So that's another thing, because if you're in the hospital and they done told you ain't got to be there, but you refuse to leave there, are they still providing you with food and you know what I'm saying? Are they still giving you those types of services? So what is it that you would be benefiting from that you should be paying if you've been staying there? Because now you've turned this into a living situation, not that's medically necessary. So that's where I don't agree. I don't agree with that part. But then I sit and think that if this person is dealing with something mentally where they may feel that they don't have anybody home, or maybe, they got some other stuff going on, then I think that should be addressed. But it's a lot of parts to that. Like I said, when we went into that, it's a lot of parts to that. Somebody also said, but how is this person allowed to still stay there, that they have not physically been removed from this facility? What grounds have they given that they're able to still stay in this facility once they have been put out? So I don't know. Hold on, wait a minute. Because I see it on the tablet and I don't want to do that, because then we don't want to knock anybody out. Let's see. I seen a response go across the screen. Hold on. Oh, to the patient. Okay. It says, Key says that maybe maybe they don't have anybody at home, and they may be afraid that if they go home that they'll die by themselves. And that's something that that's something that is true. It's definitely true. That's something that maybe that's what's going on with this person. So maybe they need to get medical like a nurse or one of those I'm not sure exactly if they have those services there, but I know we have services where you can hire somebody to come and sit with you, or maybe, like I said, just put them in a facility if that's where they want to be at. But I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we're gonna keep up with this one, because I want to know how they were still able to stay there for 5 months after they've been put out. You know, like, bruh, because anybody else, and I'm not gonna just say anybody else, but we know in certain situations we wouldn't be allowed to sit in no hospital 5 months after they done told us you had to go. You done been put out. We see people get put out for less. I was literally just looking at a story in I forgot Minnesota, I think it is. I was looking at a story in Minnesota where they just put out this young lady that had special needs because the city got like they've been scamming the city. So I done seen places put people out that have special needs that where they were living in a facility for special needs. And because they were being scammed, they don't just let these people out in the streets. But we got somebody that's able to stay in a facility 5 months out. The problem that I do have with this whole situation, if it's not medical, if it's not medical, the fact that she is taking a bed from someone that may need it. I'm not saying that the hospital is packed all the way out, but she may be taken away from necessary, necessary medical services for somebody. So that is a problem too. So I do understand that we have to look at it from a lot of different places. Showa says, was he internally ill? He rehabilitated and he found comfort. And that's possible that he could be. He really could be the fact that he's found comfort in where he at. That, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe he just refuses to leave. That's, he done found the family there. Because I mean, 5 months later after being there, we don't even know how long he was there prior to that. That, maybe that's who he or she, that's their family now. But again, I told y'all, I'm gonna keep up with that story. Thank y'all for sending me these stories. I'm telling y'all because I love to read, so I love to know what be going on. If you have a story for me, you can send them to me. You can send them to me on Facebook, Instagram. I have people that DM me and just send me the stories or tag me in the story and tell me, this is something that you should cover. Or they'll ask me what I think about this. I answer that way too. Or you can text me, or not text me. You can email me at admin@makeitmakesense.com, or you can send it over to lemons, and it's long. So lemons make it make sense @gmail.com. But yeah, you can definitely send the questions, send stories to me. You can tag me in the story if you need to. There it is right there. Y'all can contact me, send it to me 657-556-2461. Right now, if you have a comment and maybe you're not able to put it on YouTube or you can't send it to me, you can text it to that number 657-556-2461, and I will read the comment out loud on the air for you, so to let you know that you're listening. I really appreciate it. If you do have comments, you can send them over at Auntie_Mims on YouTube or Auntie Chris, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Y'all already know it. And I appreciate all my listeners, everybody that's tuned in, wherever you tuning in from, whichever device that you are tuning in from, and tuning in to everybody in the room. I say welcome. I say thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I am grateful. I am humble. I am thankful for every time that I could turn on, you know what I'm saying? And I know that y'all are out there listening, and y'all are, I'm grateful. So I'm very, very humble for that. I'm truly humble for everybody that tunes in. So y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all already know that Tuesday night. I tell y'all, Tuesday night be that night, 5 a.m. Well, 4 a.m. is when I wake up. But today I'm a little bit loud tonight. I ain't really too sleepy because I got some stories to get into. Cause we finna get into one right now that really, like, this one here is gonna affect so many people across the board. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna affect y'all, and I know it do because you hear this all the time. I've already seen they got the little stories going up if you was affected by this. But this is the problem that the problem I have. This is the problem that I have with my next story. It is the fact that these people have earned our trust by coming to us, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of our children. They are they have been given a level of trust that we have, that we've instilled in them because they have offered us something for our children. Then to find out that these people have taken that very thing and twisted it and perverted it is, what I'm saying, I feel as if these people should be held all the way accountable for what they have done. There is no way to undo any of the stuff that you do to somebody. There's no way to undo that. So if anybody tell you that That bullshit. I'm just saying that right now. There is no way to undo what is already done. Now you can talk about it, you can get a level of understanding when it comes to it, but there is no way to undo it. There's no way to ever forget what has happened. You can't do that. You just have to really, like, truthfully, you have to make it make sense. You really have to make it make sense because memory is gonna always be memory. That's what happened. But you have to, it's the level of how you're able to address those memories, how it affects you when it comes out and comes up. So I'm able to, read these stories because I have a level of understanding. And and then sometimes it goes back to my level. And y'all know, well, some of y'all do, some of y'all don't. I went to school to be a criminal investigator, and that type of stuff I love it. Yeah, I did. I graduated. I got a degree, and yes, I do. I have a degree. I got my associates in criminal investigation in 2011. Shout out. Yes, I did. But yeah, so these types. So when it comes to that, and it was during that time that I became a grandmother. When the year that I graduated from that, so that's what changed my whole major into business. I went ahead and switched up to business, but definitely. And these are the stories that I did not want to have to, deal with when it involved children and things that affected kids. And so, but companies like this, because it's been exposed for so much stuff, and it's not even so much as that, well, it is the company, because now it's to the space that there should be more things have put into space for safety nets when it comes to our kids. With that being said, let's go to the next story, and this is is about Roblox. And
the programmer for Roblox is behind bars on child pornography charges. Jamie Bourne is charged with 40 counts of child porn possession as well as possession of a child sex doll. According to arrest records, Bourne told investigators he is a programmer for the online gaming platform Roblox, which is geared toward children and teens. Bourne is booked into the Orleans Parish Justice Center with a bond of over $2 million. This comes after Attorney General Liz Merrill filed a lawsuit against Roblox Corporation in August for failing to protect children from sexual predators.
All right. So Mr. Jamie Bourne, his face screams to me, and I'm being 100. His face screams to me that he is a pervert and a creep. And I know that we have people, a lot of times that you have people are loners and stuff when they are into programming and into computers and into this stuff. But the fact that this man sits behind a virtual game that is aimed at children and teens, why not create a Roblox for adults? If that is something that you wanted to do, why do you have to be in the ratio where there are children involved? Why do you have to be a part of any of that? And the fact that you have a child sex doll is a whole nother level of disgust. And there are people that say, oh, well, at least he got a doll and not the rest thing. Disgusting, because the fact that he is even thinking about a child. Disgusting. Nasty. Disgusting. 40 counts of child porn. 40. So that means that at least 40 counts. And what pisses me off with him is the fact that people have let him into their house unknowingly because he was a programmer for a program that was set up for children. We wonder why our children are being exposed to so much stuff, who are behind all these websites, who are behind these programs. It is so crazy that things that are created for children are supposed to be created for a child to enjoy themselves, just to have like their own little virtual world to get away from things. It has to be corrupted and perverted by people like Mr. Jamie Bourne. His face need to go viral. They need to post him in prison, and everybody in there need to know what he did. Everyone don't need to know what he did. I'm telling you, they need to create a prison for them, and then just let them. Well, exactly what they do to people, it needs to be done back to them. They need to be exposed just like they do other people. They need to be exposed. They need to be like completely ripped out of their element, because we see a lot of times when they be arrested, they so oh, they just so broken and they didn't mean to do it, and they continually do it. 40 counts, bruh. This ain't something he just started. This is not something he just started. And because he had put himself in this space where he worked with children and talk to kids and do all that stuff there, they should hold him to the highest degree. They should hold him to the highest degree. And they should take away his access to any types of things, any type of devices. And I know they could do it. They should ban him. Whether he follow through or not, they should ban it. So if he do, his ass should stay in jail. Because that's where he need to be. He do not need to be nowhere where he can get in any contact with any children. So that is how I feel about him. Again, that is story 3. So if you have a comment about story 3, you can go ahead and send it to me, text it to me, DM me, and we'll respond. I'm gonna move right on along because it's these children. This next one is a very touchy topic. We have discussed it multiple times on the show. We have discussed it. This one is about a young man, 16-year-old was bullied so badly he had to leave school. Then his bully ran him over with a car on a neighborhood street. The charge, first-degree murder. Months later, his mother died of grief. This story was so sad when I went and read this story. I also, and when I shared this story and I posted this story because I wanted to get some input for my listeners, and from, some of my followers about, I got to excuse me, I'm in pain. But, so I wanted to get some input from other people about the situation. And, then it was some of the people started posting that at some point the parents, guardians should be held accountable when it comes to certain situations with bullying, because this situation here is, this is a 16-year-old. And I know at this day and age, 16-year-olds, 15, 16, hell, 12-year-olds, these children are a different breed. They are a different breed. But we have a lot of this that's going on where a lot of these children are not being held accountable at home, and they just running them up. They running the streets. They doing all this stuff. They want to be called YNs. They want to do the grown-up stuff. They want to go out here and commit grown-up adult crimes, which I don't really feel like there's an adult crime, but what I'm saying, crimes that they can be charged as adults, where they're no longer being pacified, no longer being baby. We are seeing more children being locked up in facilities now than a lot of the grown people, because these crimes, as we turn on the headlines, are children. 14, 15, 12, 13. I mean, just back and forth. I know the numbers was all out of order, but that's how it is. It's out of order. So make it make sense. Most definitely. Make it make sense. But this one here, this baby had to leave school. So he left out of school. When I did go down the rabbit hole to read about him, he did leave out of school because these particular children had been bullying him. The harassment was just that bad. They said that this young man was walking down a street in his neighborhood. He was walking down the street in the neighborhood, just walking down the street, when the young man that had been bullying him seen him. He actually started to run to get away because he seen this young man coming behind him, and the young man accelerated and struck him with the car, killing him. Jesus, because I have grandbabies, and this is the problem that we face with y'all. This is what we're dealing with right now. This is what we're dealing with. This is what our children are dealing with. That they are literally being bullied to death. And with that, that's another 16-year-old that's being taken from the streets, because now this child will be in prison. You know what I'm saying? He's going away for murder because he has been charged with first-degree murder. So he has made a decision. He has made a life decision that it was life-altering for his life and for this young man. But the family of this young man says that it was a few months later that the mother did end up passing away from the grief with everything that went on. And that's where I need y'all to understand that when y'all do certain stuff, when you commit a crime, when we commit certain acts, regardless of what it is, whether it's that bad or it's just something minute, when we do that, it affects it. Sometimes it don't just affect that one person. Sometimes it has a trickling effect. Sometimes it has a domino effect. Sometimes it affects all those that surround them. But you have to be ready to deal with those consequences, because I know that this young man, and I know at 16 years old, making these decisions, you angry, you mad at somebody, so you feel like you want to hurt them. But now we in a space that we can't even speak on why a child could respond, because our children are out of control. You don't know what happened, what this child dealing with, and this. I mean, you know, that has nothing to do with it because you know that's his business, what he is dealing with. But those acts have trickled on to something else, and now it has affected a whole nother family. This baby has lost his life just for walking down his street in his neighborhood because somebody had a beef or a bone to pick with him. This young man, you know what I'm saying, he did everything he was supposed to do. The school did, they, you know what I'm saying, he left. His parents did what they were supposed to do. Who should be held accountable for this? Should it only be that the child that took his life? Should, you know what I'm saying, it have there been the multiple instances, because this was something that has been reported multiple times. Hence why the child left school. So that means that his parents was aware. The parents, this family was aware of this situation. Do you feel that in those situations, should the adults be held responsible when their children do certain stuff like this here? Now, I'm not just speaking of, every time your child do something, you're going to need to be held accountable. Y'all hold on one second. Okay. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you have to just, because I do remember when I was younger, baby, listen, your child did something, you was on the hook for that. When the kids here in Hillsborough County, I remember if you went to WCF, your parents was charged $50 when you went. And they was charged while you were there. I remember it was instances where the parents was arrested when children did certain things and they couldn't get it under control. They would arrest the parents. Children didn't go to school, they arrested the parents. Somewhere along the way, we stopped doing what we was doing. Now we're trying to figure out how we can implement it back in, and it's everybody hollering about abuse. Everybody hollering about, oh no, that's not right. Oh no. Oh, you know, everybody telling you this and that, and this, children suing you, and this, we can't respond because nobody can take accountability. Everybody got audacity, but accountability is not there. We have a society that lacks accountability, and they walk around with audacity, which is insane to me. It's insane to me. That's insane. But we ain't gonna lag too much on them. But I want y'all to know, bullying, y'all need to nip that in the bud. Nip it in the bud when you see bullying, and there's nothing cute about it. Parents, you need to nip it in the bud. When you see your children walk around here bullying somebody, you need to stop that. If your child is being bullied, or if your child feels that they are being bullied, you need to sit down, listen to that child, talk to that child. Do not tell your child how they feel, because you don't know. Now, and we do have some children that are manipulators that, like, listen, some children are like pretty much almost like a little demon spawn. But you still have to take their feelings into consideration too, because you don't know why they're acting out. Maybe they're acting out and have become a demon spawn because they are being bullied. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's what's going on. Parents, I also need y'all to understand that a lot of y'all are bullies to y'all kids. I was told before that I was a bully in certain situations. I didn't feel that that's what it was, but that is what my child felt. I have to listen to her. I have learned in my life that my child is allowed to feel how she want to feel. I know how I feel, but I have to respect her feelings. You know what I'm saying? I have to respect even my grandkids. Whatever the situation is, you know, I respect their feelings, their wishes, no matter what it is. You always have to embrace them. You always have to treat them as human beings, even if they are children. That's not letting them disrespect you. That's actually setting in that level of respect, that y'all are able to do that and have those conversations. Talk to your children, talk to your grandchildren, talk to them nieces and them nephews. Be that auntie, be that aunt. You know what I'm saying? Let's help stop this. We can make it better. We don't need nobody standing up to tell us to make it something be great again. You can do it yourself. You can start right there where you at. Start in your house. Start with yourself first. But then start in your household. Start with those that you have a direct contact with. Start in your workplace. You know what I'm saying? At your church, at your job, in the school. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever. Be that change. For real, for real. I've heard that growing up all the time. You see it on TV. You see, you hear those positive sayings, be that change. But no, you really do have to be that change. You have to be the change that you want to see. If you want others to see that, you have to show that. That's it. That's all. So if your children around here bullying or being bullied, y'all need to sit down and have those conversations with them, or get them to somebody that they feel comfortable enough to have that conversation with. And that goes into adults too, because I know some grown-ups that get bullied. I know some grown people that get bullied every day. I know that. So it's something that, again, make it make sense. If you need to talk to Auntie, you need, there's some little confidence in there. Just somebody that, to let them know what's going on. Just, you need somebody just listen to you. Use that telephone number. That's what it's for. That is what it's for. All right. See, we moving in. We got them all in there. We getting them in there too. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next story. This one here, again, down in Miami. This is another one that breaks my heart when it comes to our children. And I tell y'all all the time that, a lot of children have been put in adult situations, or they've seen adult situations for whatever reasons they feel that they have to respond a certain way or show a certain behavior, whether it be because of the people that they're around, if they feel it's a survival tactic, whatever it is, that has caused it, it is still a situation, it's still a decision that gets made. This next story is decisions that has been made. Like I just told y'all about our children, how we are seeing more children making more adult decisions when it comes to certain crimes and situations. Certain stuff you shouldn't hear in relations to, kids. You shouldn't hear it with nobody. But when you hear certain crimes that come across, the teleprompters or your TV screen or on the radio broadcast, when you hear certain situations that come across, you used to be able to just, have you used to be able to just come up with an idea of what this person may or may not look like. But when we get into, crimes of children, I'm learning that it's true. A twisted child can grow up into, most of the times, into a twisted adult if they don't get help. So the people that grow up that we see that commit these crimes and serial killers and all this stuff that they go on, when we see it, we have to remember that at one point these children were children, and when they started showing certain signs, people didn't take them serious. So we have to take these situations seriously, because these are not things that you tapped across the hands. Now, my next story is this is a very tough story. It did affect me because, again, I am a grandmother and my grandchild is 14 years old. I have nieces and nephews, nieces of, that's also in this age range, cousins that's around the same age group. So these stories hit home. A lot of these stories hit home, especially when I'm looking at them with children. So this one here is my next story. We're going to go to Miami, where some young men, DC, you can go ahead and pull the photo up or the video.
Accused in the violent rape of a 12-year-old girl appeared in court Wednesday for pretrial detention hearings. The adolescents are each charged as adults. The state believes 13-year-old Nelson Nunez, 12-year-old Josiah Jones, and 15-year-old Xavier Tyson should all await trial behind bars.
I want to cheat all.
Judge Richard Hirsch says he wants to see the defendant's full school history before making any decisions. The alleged rape happened the night of June 18th at a community garden in Overtown. The victim allegedly left a friend's home when she encountered the boys. The victim told police Tyson and Jones held her down, and Jones put rocks in her mouth to keep her quiet. All this as Nelson allegedly raped her, an attack that police say lasted for 30 minutes.
I never expected anything. His family's
Never expecting anything from Josiah. I never had any type of behavior like this from my son.
The mother of 12-year-old Josiah Jones testified, despite a prior unspecified case in the juvenile justice system, that her son was not a troublemaker.
My client is the only one of the 4 boys who actually took pause, who had a conscience and says, we should stop. This is going too far. This is rape. We shouldn't be doing this.
Jones's lawyer said statements made by the victim herself suggest his client was remorseful and participated out of.
Now, we even see these young men laughing in court. Well, 2 of them in here. This story happened last June out of Miami. It was like they said, a 12-year-old young lady was leaving a friend's house and she was approached by these 3 young men. The scary part about this story is that the 12-year-old in this situation made a conscious decision to stuff this baby's mouth with rocks because they didn't want to hear her scream. If that don't tell you that we are in trouble, the village is in trouble, I don't know what else will. A 12-year-old made a conscious decision, a 12, 14, and 15-year-old. So these children should be in somebody's school, somebody after school program, doing something productive. But these children have allegedly raped this 12-year-old baby and put rocks in this baby's mouth to silence her. Where would thoughts like these come from? You have to wonder what this child has seen, what this child has done, and my Lord have mercy for this young lady that experienced this. The trauma that this baby has went through, the counseling that this baby is going to need. I am praying, you know what I'm saying, healing, especially mental healing, and for these young men. Because we already see, baby, their faces is exposed, so we know exactly who they is. We know exactly. And the saddest, scariest part is that, and I'm sorry, not sorry for anybody who said, "Oh, you shouldn't be." Yes, I'm finna talk about children because those little boys can't be trusted. They can't be trusted, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear them. Nobody tell me they made a decision. Yes, they made a whole decision, a wrong decision. They made a decision that they was going to kidnap and rape a child. That's the decision that was made. That's the truth. Let's hold them accountable for what it is. I don't want to see, the mama got up and, in there testifying in the courtroom that she have never seen this behavior. But I'm glad to see that she was not in it. I haven't went and looked at no videos of no parents responding. I did see, I'm lying. I take that back. I am lying. I did see response videos of family members of some of these children that made statements that I feel were distasteful. There is videos saying that the little girl is lying. I'ma just say, baby, that story was too graphic, and if your nephews partook in it, whatever, putting rocks in her mouth lets you know that she didn't want to have no parts in it. So let's make that make sense. Let's go ahead and call that out for what it is. If your nephews had to put rocks in this baby's mouth to keep her quiet, that means that this baby did not want to go along with it. They did exactly what this young lady said they did, and it's so sad. Even if she did want to go and mess with one of the little boys, you know what I'm saying, at that age, and I'm not finna knock. I was 15, a mother at 15. That's a few years older than her, but the little boy that actually was a part of this, he was 15. I was a mother at 15, so these was at that age group that I was doing it. So yes, was I making dumbass decisions? Absolutely, I definitely was. So I made a life-altering decision. I have a 31-year-old child now. When most of my friends have children that are my grandchildren's age, that's the decision that I made because I became a mother at a very early age. I had to take accountability for that. When you go out and make these decisions and do certain stuff, you have to make your children be accountable when they make these types of decisions. These little boys, I know it probably broke their heart because I can't imagine. I don't even want to imagine. But you sitting in there and you get the call that your child has been arrested for a rape, and then you sit in the room and they tell you that your child has been put rocks in the young lady's mouth. You know how sadistic that is? How twisted that is? But that's what's going through the mind of a 12-year-old. If that don't tell you that society is screwed up, it's screwed up. And you can't even look to no adults. Sometimes there's a lot of adults that's right there in their own little area, that's right there around them children, and there ain't no better. I'm praying that they got somebody that's going to stand up for them, but I need them to hold them accountable. I don't need nobody listen. And it's true, but I'm finna tell y'all, I need y'all to understand. Sometimes we sit and we think about when it's our loved one, when it's somebody that we care about that goes out and commit a crime, you know what I'm saying, that do stuff. When that person commits those crimes, or commit a crime or do something wrong, we don't want to hold them accountable, because that's somebody that we care about. We don't want to hold them accountable. But I want y'all to understand that when you do that, you're doing an injustice to that person. Have I been a person that has done it? Absolutely. Have I been an enabler? Absolutely. Absolutely, I have. Until I got to a space where I learned that you have to hold people accountable. And now it's even at a lower age, because we have to teach our children, even our babies. People will tell you, oh, that's a baby such and such, don't do such and such to them. No. If you have a child that's able to talk, then that child needs to well, even before they talk. But once they're responding, but they need to understand the goods and the bads, the pros and the cons, yes, no's. They need to understand that. They need to understand. And when they get to a space where they know, and it's not, that's just such and such. What is that? These young men are very scary. They don't even seem to care about much except that gun. And that's true, Walter. It's true. It's so sad that we are in a world where children are more worried about credit. They worried, clout. They worried about what somebody gonna say on social media. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we at. That everybody wants to be known for something, but it's sad that these children don't understand that it's not on that TV screen, or it's not what's on that monitor. It's not what's on that phone that come across that phone. Because a lot of these people that's making these decisions that you see in these stories about, yeah, you see the local stories. But a lot of times, a lot of those big stories that you see, those are people that are in a whole nother tax bracket from you. So when they go in certain situations, they have the money to sit in long, drawn out trials, or they've already, made a decision and they done already did what they had to do. So they're not going to go through what you got to go through. Stop competing with people for situations. These babies done changed. I mean, they done completely wasted their life. All three of them have wasted their life. Wasted. It's gone. Even if, when they get out, how to say this, because, again, like I said, it's children. I want the adults that's around them. I really do think that sometimes in these situations, when they have them in, when these children making certain decisions, they doing certain stuff, and then people get on social media and they go on there and they start talking crazy. And I'm saying that, and that's gonna hold me accountable too, because I'm not gonna say that I've never done that. But when you know better, you do better. And after you learn, it's some stuff that somebody need to call you out for that until and sometimes you don't understand. Sometimes you don't know until somebody calls you out. And that's in good situations and bad situations. Before I leave, I'm going to tell y'all my situation with being called out this week. And it was necessary. But yeah, so that was our story with the young man in Miami. I want y'all to, just keep your babies close. Talk to your children. Talk to these young men. I don't understand what possessed them to go out and feel the need that they had to go and rape somebody, to take that from somebody. We don't want our children out there having sex, but I'm pretty sure it was some little girl that was out there willing that they didn't have to do the mess that they did to this young lady. So I pray it wasn't no type of like initiations and stuff, because we know people are able to manipulate children's minds and do certain stuff. And then I know we have a whole bunch of these little new self-made gangs, and we also have adults, and again, call it for what it is, that will sit around here that are low functioning, low, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know who I'm talking about. That will sit around here and get around these children because don't know adult listen to what they say. They know they don't make sense to no adult. So they go and hang around children and they manipulate and twist these children's minds and have them out there doing stupid shit for them, teaching them dumb stuff instead of being productive with these babies, screwing their life up. That they have to go and find counselors and therapists like, you know what I'm saying, and life coaches like me and people that in programs to go out there and try to put it back together. They have to go through wars and prison and all type of crazy stuff. Just because you didn't figure out how to make it make sense. So you done perverted, twisted, and corrupted these children's minds. I love spending time with the babies, but listen, I be needing some, to be able to just sit with them. They talking about what color shoes and stuff for the prom. Not that they're dealing with the stuff that they have to deal with from the parents, from the people that's supposed to care about them in their lives. No, absolutely not. We're going to make that make sense. Tonight, we have seen a few different stories where it's people that need to be held accountable, whether there was a child that was doing something to another child, whether it was an adult harming a child or a child harming an adult. These stories are what we need to hold these kids accountable. Our kids, we need to save our children. We see that there's a lot going on. The other story, I just remember what that story was, DC, when you said the name. Next week, y'all tune in next week. We're gonna cover the spring break, Florida spring break, the young lady in spring break that threw the party. That's who that story was, that young lady name. She the young lady that threw the $1 million party on the beach. I don't know if you seen that story, DC. But yeah, so these young men, y'all hold y'all children accountable, talk to them, make it make sense. I'm always cover the stories if y'all ask me. Yes, if your child having issues, if your child, you need somebody to talk to about your kids, or if your kids need somebody to talk to, that's what I am available for. 657-556-2461. And listen, your kids be having fun. We laugh, we talk. If your child is not a child that wants to be directly contacted like that, I do have programs that is available for download that you can, get to them. I have journals available that these children can use. They give different prompts for them, different activities that these kids can do. Just something to keep them productive and to help them make it make sense for Auntie. Yes, that's what it is for. That's what I do. I love that. I love that I do have children that reach out to me, young kids that reach out. What's up, DC?
You want to play this last video? It's kind of relevant.
Oh, yeah. So before we go, what's going to take us out of here is our last video, love. We're going to go ahead and tune into our last story of tonight. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead, DC.
I'm Palm Beach Pete. Some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95, unbeknownst to me. And the next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. It's pretty crazy. I want to thank everybody for the positive comments I got from saying I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just Palm Beach Pete, going to play some tennis today, going into town, have lunch. I'm so not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just me being me, and it's a crazy phenomenon that has went really viral, and I really appreciate all the support. And just want to reiterate, I'm Peter from Palm Beach. Have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. He's a very bad person, what he did, obviously, and he is dead, and I'm alive.
I don't believe it. So, Mr. Palm Beach Pete, you cannot go just recreate yourself however they did it. So today, before the show came on, I did get some more, I seen some more pictures that circulate in the internet, and they literally just pointed out the only change to the person that is Palm Beach Pete from Jeffrey Epstein is the part in the hair. So if you look at the part, it just moved from one side to the other. All facial features are matched, but I guess you could be whoever you want to be. And I guess that is the new name, his new identity. So Palm Beach Pete, y'all seen him. He says that he is not Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey did bad things. He is dead. I think that is so funny to me. I think that's funny to me. It's not that I care, but this man, I just feel like it's crazy how his sighting just happened to come around right after the listing that came out. Then they pulled the rest of it from being exposed, and then you have this sighting of this one person to take, you know what I'm saying, to take, you know, to just take away from what's actually going on. Because I just don't feel like this is just something that just happened, that we just seen this, like he said, oh, just some random guy just happened to be filming me and posted me. I am not Jeffrey Epstein. He did bad things. Like, I just don't feel like a person would actually say that. I do believe that that's that man. I believe that he exposed everybody. He went into his little witness protection program or whatever. He was not supposed to be seen. I'm just saying, though, that's just my thoughts. But I don't know y'all thoughts. Y'all seen him? If you go on my page, I'm gonna post the picture, the side by side of Jeffrey Epstein and Palm Beach Pete, and it literally just looks like they just flipped the photo around and just changed his shirts and background. I'm talking about down to the dimples, it's just wild. It's just wild. I need y'all to make it make sense. I know y'all they tell us that they have clones and all this stuff going on. That ain't no damn clone, and it's not AI. Stop letting them put stuff in your face, take it away from you, and then telling you don't see what you see. Because that they need to stop. It needs to stop. It just needs to stop at this point. It just needs to stop. If that's him, all the stuff that he's done to people, of course, I would not want nobody to know that that's me. But I know he probably was not expecting that. But you in Florida, my boy, everything goes down in Florida. They know we are a state of its own. They know y'all come down here when shit get too hot. Y'all just come to Florida. Y'all come down here and hit the coast, all up and down the coast. We know that's what y'all do. We from Florida. We know y'all be here. That's why when you go look on the websites, y'all can go find booking photos of a lot of y'all celebrities. Because y'all all come to Florida. They got the saying, come to Florida on vacation, leave Florida on probation. That's the saying that's been here. I didn't make it up. That's what it say. So I'm not surprised today. And they tell you, y'all always come here on vacation. All y'all have houses down there. I'm not surprised. Trump got a house here. They got houses here. They have them all up and down the coast. Like, all up and down the coast. So the sighting of him, to see him, no, I don't feel like he thought that he would be exposed. So yes, they had to come back with a story. That man know he that man. I'm just saying, that man know he that man. But I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all stay tuned for Simply Complicated at 11. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all that have helped me. Yes, we have reached over 300,000, and I truly appreciate all of you all that tune in faithfully every week. Next week, make sure you go grab somebody to bring somebody. We finna talk to these children about putting together these parties. I'm gonna tell you now, the girl is a beast. She did a party, but next week I'm gonna see if I can reach out and maybe we can get her on the show. I'm gonna see. But and anybody else, if y'all listening, make sure y'all ready for next week. If you got a topic, you got something you want to, you know what I'm saying, want me to talk about, go ahead and send it over to Auntie. But like I said, make sure y'all stay tuned. Go ahead, grab your snack, go to your bathroom, take your little bathroom break. Simply Complicated is up next. Thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all next Tuesday at 9 p.m. when life give you lemons. Make sure that you make it make sense. And you can always do that on Tuesdays with Auntie.